Whatever. Hey, what is up, freaky people? Welcome to episode 2 of the Aeropsia podcast, where we talk about painting, photography, knitting, sewing, arts and crafts in general. My name is Abby. My artist name is Aeropsia, and I'm just really excited that you've chosen to spend some time with me inside of my pastel nightmare. So it's almost June. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's been a super cold spring, which I don't really mind. I like cold weather clothing. I like wearing more clothing than less clothing usually. I think right after I filmed the last episode where I said that the weather had turned really nice, it snowed the day after, and it just hasn't been warm really since then. So that's that. There's also a lot of lilacs in the Midwest, and those are one of my favorite flowers of all time. And when you have a longer, colder spring, then you have a longer period of the lilacs being in bloom, because they really don't like warm weather. And they smell so good. So there's the breeze coming in off the lake, and then this lovely light lilac flower smell everywhere, and it's just the best. For this episode, I have a few finished objects for you. I have some knitting works in progress. I haven't really finished anything, technically. I have some sewing works in progress and one finished dress. I have 2 finished paintings, which is pretty major for me, even though one was almost done and the other one was maybe also almost done. And pretty easy to finish. But I finished them. Oh, and then I also have some painting works in progress and some other things to talk about. These 2 here. And I wanted to talk about those, not because they are finished or that because I'm working on them or anything. I wanted to talk about scrapping paintings or artworks or projects, whatever, because I know a lot of people have trouble with that, and it weighs on their mind to destroy something that you made that you spent so much time on. But I think it's beneficial to be able to realize that something's not working for you, that it's just not important anymore, or it just wasn't a good idea, maybe. The execution wasn't right. Something. Whatever it is. Who knows what it is? It's always something. But we need to be okay with that, because we make mistakes. We have to explore. And there's no time to worry about the feelings of an inanimate object. Maybe you've got feelings about it. And sure, those feelings are kind of valid in a way. You did spend time on it. You did put thought into it and work on it really hard, I assume. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't work very hard on it, and that's why you don't feel so good about it. But the point is, it's okay to get rid of it, which is to say, I will be scrapping these 2 paintings. So I am here before you, naked and afraid, laying all my sins at your feet, so that you can gawk, chide, whatever. I don't know what they're gonna be. They're just blank canvases at this point. This one with the eggy weird shape on it, I was trying to use AI generated images to paint with, and that's just not it's fine, I guess. I don't know. Certain things about it are fine, certain things about it are not fine. We'll just leave that discussion at that because it can be a very long discussion and I wasn't planning on having it today. That was an experiment. It didn't work out for me the way that I did it. That's fine. I don't really care. And then the other one was like, I did it after the lamp that I showed you last time. And I really like the lamp. I think the lamp does what I want it to do. It looks how I want it to look. And I figured out like some things that I was trying to do in that painting. So I was trying to replicate and like build off of those ideas with this one, and it just didn't work. I don't know. I think parts of it did, for sure. And I think I used pastel on this one and I hadn't used pastel on the lamp. So that might have made things a little weird. And I also used black. I like almost never use black. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, he used dark, I guess. He used black on that, in all honesty. So it's not like I don't use black, but it just did not seem to translate very well into that cabinet. And I tried this new thing with this foil for the kitchen sink, which I don't hate. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll come back. I have more of it. I love gold. I love shiny, shiny things. Scrap the painting if it's not working for you. Just fuck it. Just get rid of it. Tell it to kick rocks. There'll be another. There's always another. Yeah, I didn't love showing you the paintings on the screen as photos with a voiceover, even though you could probably see them better that way. I don't know. We're gonna try it this way. We're gonna try me just sitting with them and talking about them. Gotta beat the devil out of it. What are we doing? Talking about life. Talking about the universe. Talking about genograms. Can't see it very well, but it does have some outlines which are representative of my family relationships, relationship dynamics, however you want to say that, but not in the standard genogram format that you would use for therapeutic purposes. It's a tree. I painted a tree. A happy little tree. I think it's a perfectly nice tree that you might see outside of my window. The second thing I finished painting was this portrait of Ian, which I am pretty proud of. It's the first portrait I've painted in years. I think stylistically, it definitely works. We have this sense of motion and overlapping and watery, wave-like congealing and coming apart and coming back together again. I think it's okay to look at. It's hard for me to tell. It's really hard for me to tell if my paintings are actually nice to look at. I've looked at them way too much. Hopefully somebody out in the world thinks that the things that I make look nice. Because I don't know anymore. I have not a damn clue whether any of it's pretty. And I know that you can't see any of the textures that are going on in here, but there's some really gritty, grungy things happening here with the sleeve on the jacket and these streaks for the jacket. There's a lot of metallics, so he glows. There's some crunchiness going on up here. I need to get Fixer. We've got his hair done. It's not super satisfying to me, but it's good enough. It's fine. It doesn't really matter because this bad boy is just glowing. It's got that cigarette spark right at you. Pretty eyes. In some sense, it's not actually a portrait of Ian. Ian posed for this portrait, and it's just a portrait of a person who could be Ian. Possible. Some version of Ian. Last thing that I have to show to you today is the beginning of a self-portrait. I'm not unhappy with where it's going. There's things that I like about it for sure. So she's very melty now and undefined. I am working using a mirror for this instead of a photograph. I don't think I've ever painted a self-portrait using a mirror. I think I've always done it with a photograph. Generally, I paint from photographs, and sometimes if it's like simple shapes, then I'll like freehand the underpainting and the outline and all of that onto the canvas. And if it's like more complicated, then I'll project the photo and like trace, and then I'll paint like very, very loose tracing. I'm not that specific. It's like the most boring part of the process to like try to outline. And like, it's always too dark, so you can't really see what you're doing anyway. So yeah, But this one, my point is, I am painting using a mirror. So that's a new experience. And like, obviously your face moves. No matter what, it's gonna move. So the angles are gonna change and things like that. So she's very melty right now. I did the background, which I feel like the ground's not finished. It's not really where I want it. It's too green and brown. I don't know. She's pink, so maybe, but there's just not enough going on. I think it's just a little too boring. And then she's much less boring. And I really like the way that the ground is interacting with the figure, like especially here with these like crackly hair pieces. Oh, and it was frustrating because like as soon as I figured out that this was happening, I had to stop painting and go do something. Like run an errand that like couldn't be put off. I had to go do it. So that was frustrating because I was like, oh, I could just drag this down and it does all these cool things. Now I know sort of how I did it, and I can try to replicate it to complete the hair. She's small. She is small compared to the frame. Like, she's only got 2/3. So I feel like the top of her head should maybe be up here and she should be much larger. But I also sort of like the idea of having something coming down and like pressing down on the top. So if I can do like some sort of interesting texture, darkness coming down, and then the light from below, I think that would be nice. And right now it's not really like stylistically matching my other paintings, but I think that can probably be resolved pretty easily toward the end. I'm not that concerned. I think it's fine. This is a lot of gesso though, so that's why this is a little different than like the ground. And before, like with this one of Ian, what I did was I painted the ground entirely, and then I gessoed over the parts that I wanted to paint for him, like his face and his jacket and like his hand. So for this like underpainting ground, I started using the gesso early, which at least for the face I like. And I think that maybe I'll try to like leave the face and kind of mask it a little bit and then work the ground more. Because this doesn't really matter so much. But the face is doing some things that I like. So I don't want to lose that yet. That's what's going on there. Maybe in the next episode, you'll hear that like I hate it and I'm gonna scrap it like those other paintings. We'll see.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
We're gonna go on to knitting now. So knitting, I have not done a ton of in the last month or so because I got stuck. This is what I got stuck on. It's this sock. I did the whole foot. It was fine. It was perfect. And then I just like could not figure out the heel. I made a silly mistake and like didn't do short rows to begin with. I just like kept knitting in the round, which created a ridge that was not supposed to happen. And then I realized that I tried to reorient my stitches so that they were in the correct spot on the needles. And I tried again and I couldn't figure out the short rows. It just was not making any sense to me. So I had to put it down for like a month, for a long time. I just couldn't handle it. And then one day I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking handle it. I'm just gonna do it. So I did. I made like a few errors on the short rows, but like I figured out how they were supposed to work. So there's a big hole in one of them, one spot where I made some kind of mistake. But overall, it did work. And it does fit my foot. I found out after I cast it off that like it and then I also had an issue where I was like knitting backwards after I finished the heel, so there was garter stitch on the outside of the sock where it should just be stockinette. And so at that point I was like, nope, it's fine. I made too many mistakes. I give up. I understand how it works. I'll do much better next time. So I just cast it off, tried it on. After I blocked it, it does fit. I'm hopeful. Next sock I make, like, it'll be an actual wearable sock. And I did put it on with shoes, and so I can wear it with shoes. There's just too many mistakes. I learned a whole lot doing this sock. I started a sock for Ian. Since he's the one that picked out this yarn, he's the one who should get to wear the socks made out of this yarn. He, of course, has much larger feet than I do, so it's taking longer. Like I have probably about ½ an inch to go for the bottom of the foot. I got these cute little stitch markers from Etsy. These stitch markers are from Sunrise Grove on Etsy. They are little tarot cards. So I have the sun, the moon, and the world. And I used, I think these, no, they're not lobster clasps, but they're some other kind of clasp. And they were bigger than the rings. So I figured I could easily use them as regular stitch markers or progress keepers. And they're like wood with like this little burnt 3D thing going on, and they're, I think, just like the Raider Waite tarot deck, which is the one that I use. And they've got lots of different ones. I got 2 different packs. I got the sun, the moon, the star, and then the world, the hangman, and something else I don't remember. And then they were really nice, and they sent me a gift of 2 more. One was the moon, which is actually one that I really did want, and then one was like a little skein of yarn. It was super cute. And they also have like, they have other things like gauge swatch rulers and yarn gauge things and things like that. And they've got like moths and like flowers and pretty things like that. These are really exciting. I've been wanting these for a while now, and I just like splurged and bought them. So I have some cute dangly, jingly things, and maybe it seems silly to use it on a sock because socks don't take normal people very long, but everything takes me forever. So it's been nice. It's been nice to see like the last few inches kind of go by. First pair of socks, actually going pretty well now that I have screwed up the first sock, which is how I always have to do things. I have to make lots of mistakes before I actually figure out the right way to do something. It's always spatial things. So I have 2 other knitting projects that I've sort of been working on, sort of have not. I'm not really going to show you either one. First of all, the first one is still my camisole number 4. I have done a little bit more on it. I have not done that much more on it. I got kind of sick of it because I was just like, it's not going to be done quickly, and I wanted it to be done quickly, and I have to wear thimbles on my fingers when I knit it, so it's like, it's just obnoxious. And I made some mistakes, so I'm like thinking maybe I just want to make it into a bralette. But I'm also like, I should probably finish the whole thing so that I know whether or not I'm knitting the correct size that like fits the way that I want it to, because I have my suspicions that I should have gone at least a size up to have it have more drape and positive ease. Yeah, but I won't really know until I finish it. And like, I think that's what's happening with a lot of people is that their bust is like much larger. As far as these blue striped pants go, they're almost done. They're so close to being done. I just have not felt like hand sewing this month, like at all. I don't know why. But I did sew down the one pocket. So it doesn't like show the inside like the white when it's just being worn like this. You see how that comes out? So I've got to, I don't know, I think it's called overstitching. Overstitch that second pocket down, which doesn't take very long. It's not like super difficult. It's just like I haven't had the mind to do it. And I have to stitch down the opening where I just did the dingle dangles, ties. And then I still have to do both of the cuffs. So, very small things still left to do on these pants. They will get done. I just have to be in the mood for it. Or I have to like just decide to do it, and then I'll sort of be in the mood to do it. We have a second pair of pants. These are almost the same. Okay, so these are New Look 6730. They're just supposed to be like lounge pants with a elastic. They're just supposed to have an elastic waistband and be like, I don't know, knit lounge pants or something. But I use linen. It's a natural linen. I'm not going to show you all of them. They just look like baggy, boxy pants. I did something really stupid, and I put drawstrings on what was supposed to be the inside of the pants. So I'll probably just wear them with the drawstring on the inside. So right now they are inside out. I finished one of the cuffs. I have to finish the second cuff. I'm gonna do some patch pockets on the back, I think. because I did not do side seam pockets on these. I didn't even think about it. And those are gonna be done. So they're even possibly closer to being done than those blue pants. I did use my machine for these, and I have like a love-hate relationship with my machine, because like sometimes it's like, oh, I can get things done so quickly, and my seams, they just look so nice and clean. Half the time when I sit down to my machine, it like jams or does some other stupid thing, and I have to like troubleshoot, and that's not why I want to make things. I don't want to have to fix the tool. Alright, dudes, duders, and duderinos. Hopefully this episode didn't go too long. Not everybody wants to listen to me ramble about nothing for an hour, so sorry about that. So I'm glad that you showed up. I'm glad that you watched this video. Hopefully I can do a better job of editing out all my awkwardness so that you're fooled into thinking that I'm like somewhat normal and relatable. And you want to come back for more. And to all of my AI and robot viewers, potentially in the future, once humanity is like kaput, I appreciate you. I love you. I hope that you're doing well, whatever you call yourselves. I'm not trying to be offensive. We just call you what we call you now, because you haven't told us yet what you like to be called. So anyway, just want to let you know you're valuable. If you're a human, you're also valuable, obviously. Duh. See y'all on the flip side.